Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Reading from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, chapter 20, text number 29. Nadanam najanam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti raghaitu kitvayi. O Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruitive activities described in flowery language. All I want, life after life, is unmotivated devotional service to you. Text number 30. Dhana jana nahi mago kavita sundari Shuddha bhakti de hamare Krishna kripa kari. My dear Lord Krishna, I do not want material wealth from you, nor do I want followers, a beautiful wife, or the results of fruitive activities. I only pray that by your costless mercy, you give me a pure devotional service to you life after life. So, this is a very, very important principle. In the Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, there are two verses which, if properly understood, can be life-changing for anybody. The conception and consciousness with which one comes to spiritual life acts as the very foundation of spiritual life. What is the right consciousness? That is taught in this verse. Nadanam najanam na sundari. That means one should never see wealth or wife or followers or the fame that comes in our life to be ours. We are not owner of anything. We are only a custodian. We are only a steward. Steward or a custodian means it is kept in our custody. Say, I go to some shopping mall and I pick up the things and run away, I will be called as a thief because they are not meant for my enjoyment. Nor I can go to a shopping mall and say, I renounce the TV, I renounce this, I renounce that. They will laugh at me. First of all, nothing belongs to you, what will you renounce? So we cannot enjoy, we cannot renounce. We cannot do bhog, we cannot do tyag. But when we come to this world, everything that is kept in this world belongs to Krishna. Like a man is marrying, he has his wife, he has his house, he has his car, he has his bank balance, everything belongs to Krishna. So when one has this right type of consciousness, that because everything belongs to Krishna, everything has to be used in Krishna's service. So such a man sees that all these are put in my custody, I will engage them in Krishna's service. So by thinking in this way, one can live in this world as a liberated soul. One will never get entangled. The moment a person tries to pick any of the things for his own enjoyment, then he gets the possessive mentality. And that is why you find even within families why there is lack of peace. When husband thinks this wife is meant for my service, then his expectations increase from the wife. When those expectations are not fulfilled, then there is frustration. And when there is frustration, then he tries to control her. So the controllership or possessiveness or expectation, frustration, anger, hatred, all these things arise from this one mentality of bhogavriti or possessiveness. So, and if somebody is doing tyag, they are very proud that I have given up the world. We have to ask them, what do you first of all possess to give up? You don't own anything to give up. There is no reason to be proud. So, therefore Mahaprabhu taught this famous verse, Nadanam najanam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti raghaitu kitvayi. My dear Lord, I am not attached to any of these things. I am only attached to only one thing, your service. There was one king called Koshik. He saw that he is extremely disturbed in mind and very much in anxiety and stress. So he thought that now I am already old and I am trying to rule the kingdom and I am feeling very stressed. So I think I should follow in the footsteps of great saints by donning my cloth with saffron cloth, and I'll go to the forest. So he left everything and went to the forest. And he was living by a side of a holy river in a hermitage. But even after 6 months, he could not find peace. So one day, a very old sadhu was going by. So he came out and begged him to come into his hut. And when the sadhu came, he bowed down to him and said, "Sir, I see in this area so many monks are living. I am also wearing a monk's dress, but still I am not as peaceful as them. Why? Can you please tell me?" And the old monk knew who this fellow was. He asked him, "Who are you?" He asked him. And the king said, "You don't know who I am?" He said, "I don't know. What's your name?" He said, "I am that famous King Koshik." He said, "Koshik? Who is Koshik?" He asked. Although Koshik was very famous at that time. And the king said, "I am surprised how you don't know. There is not a single citizen in the country who doesn't know about me." And then half an hour he told his own glories. How a great king I was, how many elephants, how many horses, how many kingdoms I had, which all provinces I had captured, how many years I ruled and everything. After half an hour he got tired speaking about himself. And the sage said, "Drink some water and relax." And the sage said, "This is your problem." He said, "You have renounced the world, but you have not given up your attachment to the things of the world." And giving up the things is not enough. You have to give up attachment and possessiveness of those things. And after giving up attachment to those possessions, you still have one more thing to give up, which is the false pride that comes from having given up. So, give up the things, give up attachment to the things, give up the false pride from renunciation. All these things are not very easy for a conditioned soul. But there is one very easy way to achieve all these three platforms. How? By honestly and transparently admitting everything belongs to Krishna. And therefore I will engage everything, including my body, my mind, my words, and my very existence in Krishna service. By doing this, automatically those three realizations come in the heart of a conditioned soul. That's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught this. And this famous verse, "My dear Lord, I don't want to possess and exploit these things, nor do I want to renounce these things. Everything belongs to you. Let me engage it in your service. What do I want to be? Mama janmani janmani ishware bhavatat bhaktir ahaituki tvai." Birth after birth, make me your devotee, and I simply want to engage in your devotion service without any other motivation. My only motivation is to love you, serve you, and see you happy. That's all. So this mood is a very extraordinary mood. It goes beyond the mood of the karmis, jnanis, and yogis. Karmis want to enjoy this world. Jnanis want to renounce and relax, freedom from suffering. And yogis want siddhis to show off. But a bhakta does not want any of these things. Bhakta simply wants to love and serve the Lord. So if anybody can understand this glory of this philosophy and they chant the holy name with that mood, they have the right consciousness. And what is the right conception? That will be the next verse I will tell you tomorrow. Harinam Prabhu ki. Let's offer our humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desert trees, ocean of mercy, full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha kalpatarubhyashta kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindaki, Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki.